God is telling you to get rid of. Mm-hmm. Even though those tapes didn't seem like a lot, then it went from the tapes to going to video stores. You know, everybody knew me at Blockbusters. I rated R. And listen, I'm not here to convict, I'm here to convey. If you want the glory, if you want the power, there's some stuff in you. I'm telling you, it's still stuff in me. But it's stuff that I didn't even know. Way back then, I didn't know that was an issue. I didn't even know how to talk to my wife. Just till recently, maybe 4 or 5 years. I'm just now learning to be a good husband. And it took years of me just kind of like a snake. I kept shedding skin. Now those fleshly things I'm not saying that, listen, you got to work out your own soul salvation. But if you want to get deep in God, there's some flesh issues. There's some areas of your life that God just keeps saying, you need to get that out. You need to let that go. Because in order for you to let it go, you can find your identity. It'll block you from seeing who you are. When Saul turned from Paul, when Saul was on that road to Damascus, you know the first thing he did? When Ananias laid hands on him, the first thing happened to him, scales fell from his eyes. God had to reveal to him who he really was. And sometimes the enemy, through your flesh, will blind you through fleshly things. I don't know what it could be. Videos. It could be pornography. It could be whatever. Listen, I used to play. Let me show you something. Now this may sound crazy. I know it's going to sound crazy. Some of y'all ain't going to like it.
It's not crazy.
I used to play 8-ball pool. I don't know if any of y'all play it. Some of y'all may. I got so deep in it right now, I got over 1 billion chips. Now it's free, there's no gambling in it. It's just leisure time and you're on your own, you just play. I got so consumed in it. My wife over there laying down, maybe want to do something. I'm trying to finish the last game. I'm trying to get to the next level. Listen to me. I had to get rid of all and the Holy Ghost, hallelujah, told me, Polk, that's a distraction. Now, it's no sin in playing this game. There's no gambling, there's nothing. But what I'm telling you, when you're trying to get deep in God, there's some things, and it may seem so simple to you, but to God, the time that I'm spending in this, I could be spending in prayer. The time that I'm spending, you need to be reading your Bible. You don't stay here for 2 hours on your day off playing a pool game when you should have been reading the Word. And what I'm telling you, your flesh will blind you. It will separate you from who you really are. And I just want to encourage you tonight. I hope I said something just to press on your spirit. Amen. That if God is telling you, let it go, let it go. Don't chase after it. I know it don't feel good. I know you said, man, it seems so simple. But guess what? The blessing of the Lord will be upon your life because you made a conscious decision. Nobody forced you. The pastor didn't have to lay hands on you. You know what? You don't have to go. There's nothing wrong with laying hands on you, but you can lay hands on yourself. You can encourage yourself by yourself in your bathroom. I got the Holy Ghost in my bathroom, in the shower. You can encourage yourself in the Lord and say, I'm not doing that anymore. And God will bless you right where you are. Amen. I just want y'all to know, man, know your identity. Start with work on your flesh and say, Lord, I need your Holy Spirit to come into my life. Let's give the Lord a hand clap. Yeah. So tonight, I just want to, I know a few people may have some questions about some things, and I told Paul, and I give a few minutes some questions. Anybody got any questions on the Word tonight?
I do. I loved how you just expressed that to us tonight. My question is, you come to that point in your life where you know you need to start doing things differently. What's the next step? What was the next step for you?
Well, I used to smoke Newports, cigarettes. I smoke went on a youth retreat and I went in the bathroom and they got the little bin out, trying to blow it up in the vent because I didn't want the kids to smell me smoking. And one of the ladies came in and she said, "Somebody here playing with matches." I couldn't blame it on the kids. I said, "Well, mother, I still smoke." "You smoke?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, I still smoke." "Oh, God, Pastor, know you smoke?" Because I'm working with the kids. I said, "Well, I think you do." "My God, okay, all right." And from that, I was so convicted. I started praying, "God, I don't want to be a stumbling block." I started asking the Lord, because whatever it is the Lord is telling you to move out the way, it brought a conviction that I don't want to be a stumbling block. I don't want one of these kids to see me smoking and I'm telling them not to do certain things. I wasn't practicing what I was preaching. And I started saying, "Lord, help me to be real. Help me to practice what I preach." So for me, that step was, I really wanted to be what I was preaching. I wanted to be in the likeness of Christ, that when they saw me, they didn't see all. Now, we all have faults, but I didn't want them to see my faults. I wanted them to find my faults. Polk got faults, but you got to find them. You don't need to see them. And that's what I prayed and said, "Lord, just help me that I don't be a stumbling block." So that's what I prayed. Brother, you had your hand up?
No, I just
Okay. Anybody else?
You talk a lot about, when you're talking about the flesh, I know this is probably going to sound maybe a little crazy.
That's all.
Okay, but my wife is on staff. You know, so one of the things I guess that I'm kind of struggling with is sometimes she's here, and trying to come to that, kind of like commonplace. I kind of want, I guess what I'm feeling is, and I guess Satan's kind of using this, he's getting me to look at things, godly things that are going on in the church, and saying, "You're only doing this and doing that, and we were doing this. Why are we doing this?" And the focus, I think, is all wrong. So I don't know how to work through that or overcome it.
Well, one of the things that I started, we talk about know your identity. I started believing that I was her shepherd. I started pastoring my wife. It's a little different. I treated members like the pastor, and I started treating her like some of the members that kind of do things off, and I started pastoring. I started being nice to her or started working with her. She began to see me, and I love to hear my wife say, "Hey, Pastor." She don't call me Lord like Sarah did Abraham, but she'll say, "Hey," she'll throw that out. But she'll say, "Hey, Pastor," and really she do that at the house. My daughters say, "Pastor," I start shepherding my wife and my family, and sometimes, as the Bible says, look at her as unto the weaker vessel. And when you know your identity as the priest, as the shepherd, as the leader of that house, you have to use a lot of wisdom, because the devil will get in and say, "You know what?" Because my wife is very, what I would say, sweet nasty. Sweet nasty, where she won't say nothing. My wife don't argue, and I used to be like, and she won't say nothing, and she'll just be sweet nasty. So she just won't say nothing. And I learned. I said, I know you're upset, and I'm sorry. I let you have it. You can have it. Come here, girl. And she leave me alone. I said, "Come here, girl." And I treat her like I start shepherding, I start pastoring, because at one time she get quiet, I get quiet. We be in them like roommates. I brush my teeth, look at her. She don't say nothing to me. I go, and guess what? We go to church together. I ain't saying that. She looking out the window, I'm looking out the window. And that's the devil, because when we know our identity, he called us to be the leaders of our family. So sometimes we got to kind of break that trend and don't let the devil ride. When the man see the devil in there, we got to identify, "Hey, honey, that's the devil." And you got to be above. You may not be above in education or whatever, but spiritually, And mentally, and as a wise man of God, you got to be above her and don't let the devil come in. Because he'll come in. And it's not really her responsibility to head that off. It's your God holding you accountable. He didn't say, hey Eve, where are you? He said, act. Right? So he holds us accountable. We need to know our place and know our identity in Christ. That kind of help you a little bit. All right. Anybody else? Somebody else had a hand.
Quick comment. There's a lot of with the battle plan where like I want you guys to be able to have that battle plan and like be able to go to it. And so I just ask you to maybe reflect on that a little bit. Like when I'm having trouble, any of the stuff we pray, you know, like I come and I go, okay, know my identity. I mean, when you sit down and you go, man, I'm struggling right now. Know my identity. Where do you go? Like, you know, like, is it like, well, if I'm serving two masters, like, is it a lot of times you can't, you're not, you know, like you look at your situation and if I'm truly following God, then I'm most likely seeing myself the way He sees me, or am I, you know, what do you think with it?
Well, and I'm gonna go back to that first this text, Romans 8. In order for you to really find your true identity, you got to know the works of your flesh. See, you got to have dominion. See, God never told man to have dominion over man. He just said have dominion over fish, the cattle. See, dominion, that means control, power, authority. We don't have dominion over each other. God never intended that. The problem when we don't know our identity, we're trying to figure out, you know, who am I? But instead of trying to figure out who am I, figure out what is your, have dominion over your flesh, have control over your spirit, where your flesh is willing, your spirit is willing, but your flesh is weak. Remember Jesus, they went to sleep. So when you find out your flesh problem and you start working on that, the spirit problem will automatically come. It's when we're blind in the flesh, it shields us from really finding our identity. So I would suggest to any man here, whatever your weaknesses are, write them down. You want to journal your weaknesses, but find out your weaknesses and say, you know what, I can overcome that. If I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I can overcome it. I know this is a problem in my life. I know this is an area that's a flesh area in my life. I can overcome it. When you start overcoming those fleshly issues, my God, hallelujah. The anointing of God. Your wife, you don't have to tell your family you saved. When I have family and friends, my sister will come 3 hours over. They come. I just had a brother, my brother, just moved to Port St. Lucie so he can join my church. What I'm saying, you don't have to tell people you got God in you. You get rid of that flesh, they'll see God all over you.
Amen.
They identify you as I was walking in North Carolina. I'm walking in the mall, minding my own business, don't know nobody. Me and my wife on vacation. My wife is down there. I start walking, and my wife wanted me to buy some shoes, and I got there. That lady looked at me and said, "You a pastor?" I said, why you doing shoes? You know, what's going on? I said, yeah. She's like, just the way you walk. She said, I knew, when you came and said, yeah, honey, what's your, she said, I can tell you, I was in Jamaica, in the backwoods, it was getting dark. I walked by this lady's tent. She came out and scared the daylights out of me. She said, man of God. I said, wow. She said, I told my wife, told the people that were with me, this is a man of, I never met her before. Wow. I'm in Dunn's River Fall. I'm sitting there, minding my own business, waiting on a taxi to get us out of there and do whatever. The lady bust out and said, Bishop, I don't know her from nowhere. She said, Bishop. I said, I started looking around for Bishop. So she said, are you a bishop? And my wife was like, yes, he's a bishop. She's like, it's all over you. You are called to be a bishop. I said, okay. See, glory to God. You don't have to tell nobody about the anointing in your life. It will show up. Guess why? Because we're like a city that sits on the hill that your identity cannot be hidden.
Amen.
You're the city. You're a light. Why would God take that light and hide it under the bushel? No. He exposes you. He puts you in a place where everybody can see. That's why your business is everybody. Ain't nobody, stay out my business. But how you gonna stay out your business? How am I gonna stay out your business if you're a child of God? If you're a child of God, you ain't got nothing to hide.
That's right.
You ain't got nothing to hide because your life is like a city that sits on a hill and cannot be hidden. Amen. Anybody else? Hallelujah! I got excited. Anybody else?
It seems the more you seek, you're seeking, the more you see your flesh and your magnified.
Absolutely.
I found that in the past year.
Wow.
Being a Christian for some 30-some years, and never really realizing the power of it, or even, it was just like there was a veil over the flesh. So the things that you should be seeing or getting out of your life is now finally coming to fruition. I'm seeing stuff. We're getting rid of things left and right in my life that are just, causing me to stumble.
But I'm gonna tell you the blessing. I'm gonna tell y'all the blessing. Me and my wife were just talking about this. All of my kids go to church. That don't mean they're all perfect, but they're all attending church. All right, the preacher kids are attending church. What I'm saying is to you, the blessing is when you shun from fleshly ways, there are some blessings that are what I would call a reciprocity. It's kind of like you're gonna receive. It's gonna come around. We say what goes around, come around. No. It's gonna be like a boomerang because you're living right. God is gonna give you your heart's desire. You want your kids to be saved. You want your family to be saved. Guess what? You live right. You walk right, and He'll give you anything you ask. He say, "Ask, and it shall be given." When you walk from temptation, I'm gonna share this story. Are we cutting off?
We're good. We're good, man.
I cut the video off.
No, you want me to?
I'm gonna